Oh, a very good afternoon, viewers, wherever you are. Today, we are lucky to meet one of the hardworking team there in Harare. We are joined by Acting Director, Hard Life Manjengwa. They are going to take us through with the effort which they are doing. I'm sure they are in the Water Alliance services which they are doing there in Harare. We have got a number of issues which we are going to check on them. So just allow me to welcome Director Hard Life Manjengwa. How are you, sir?
I'm very much well. Thanks for hosting me, and afternoon, viewers.
Yes, welcome, Acting Director Hard Life Manjengwa. You are doing amazing and wonderful job there in Harare. I understand part of your work, you are mainly or you deal with water. And your organization is
Yes.
a civic society organization as we speak right now. And it's called Community Water Alliance. Am I correct?
Yes.
So take us through. You can introduce yourself to the viewers. The viewers want to know much of you and the work which you are doing. I'm sure as an introduction, you can just tell us who is Acting Director Hard Life Manjengwa and what are you doing in brief.
Okay. Thanks very much. My name is Hard Life Manjengwa, and I'm the Acting Director for Community Water Alliance, which is a grassroots-based civil society organization that does advocacy work on 3 program areas: water, sanitation and hygiene, which is WASH, and environment, and then the last program area is climate. These 3 have got links when it comes to water service delivery, which is the main thrust of the institution. And it's basically an institution that was created in 2010 first, where a group of activists, civil society activists, met to deliberate on the crisis of water service delivery that was bedeviling Zimbabwe at national level, and leading to serious consequences on even gender issues at community level, because we do have a patriarchal system in our country where issues of water service delivery are confined to women. And so at the moment, we do, in the context of COVID-19, we have a campaign that we are running, which is called #creating COVID-19 safe public water points. I think I will explain later in detail about the campaign, but basically, like I've said, we do have a crisis of water service delivery in Zimbabwe. To just put you in the picture, for Harare, for every citizen to access quality potable water, they require 1,200 megalitres per day. And at the moment, the local authority is producing 190 megalitres per day. So you can look at the shortfall there in terms of meeting citizen expectation. And of that 190 megalitres per day, around 45% is lost through leakages, physical leakages. So what reaches citizens is actually half of what is being produced. So what that means is that people are resorting to public water points, or what I can loosely call boreholes, right, to access water and complement the shortfall on water service delivery. So in the context of an outbreak and pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic, people are queuing at public water points to access water, which has compromised their health standards and opened up possibilities of contamination, because there is queuing, there is overcrowding in these places. So this campaign is meant to ensure that people have got safety mechanisms riding on the World Health Organization COVID-19 Prevention Protocols that have been, dished out at international level. Part of them including sanitizing, hand washing, and also social distancing at these public water points.
Thank you so much, Acting Director Hardlife Mudzingwa, for the well-detailed introduction of the activities which you are doing as a civic society organization. If I managed to check your organization very, very well, this problem started or emanated sometime in 2010, like you said, when the whole country or some parts of the country received or they were experiencing a serious water crisis by then. Okay, so if I checked very well, the way you started, sorry, we just want maybe our viewers, our listeners here to understand where you came from up until where you are today. Sometime then, you started in those two areas in Harare, that is Mavuku and Tafara, in regard to Harare. And then you were also visible and you were also doing something in Bulawayo. So those are the two major cities in Zimbabwe where you started. And take us through, are you still only confined on those two areas, Harare and Bulawayo, or you are now spread, which is which here?
Okay, we are national, we're a national institution, but I think it's also important to give a background to our formation that led us to where we are at the moment. Basically, a group of civic society activists and those who were coming from resident associations were concerned in 2010 about the escalating, crisis of water service delivery nationally. And they came together, and the first rallying point was to push for the human right to water in the constitution, so that we give background, legal background and basis to any advocacy work that will be undertaken to push for, respect, protection and fulfillment of, the human right to water in Zimbabwe. So this group comprised of Ruben Akili, who was coming from Combined Harare Residents Association. It combined of Joseph Rose, who was also involved in civic society work. It also involved Timothy Chitambure, who was also involved in labor issues and as well as civic society activism. It comprised of also women from Mavuku and women from Bulawayo. Majority of their names, I think I'll be sharing as we go. Okay. So this group then had the idea of pushing for the human right to water in the constitution. Remember, we've had no such provisions in the Lancaster House Constitution, which came into effect as a ceasefire document in 1979. So this time now, because of the urgency of socio-economic issues that were affecting citizens in Zimbabwe, part of it was the issue of access to water, service delivery, both at community level, particularly the high-density suburbs, where a majority of marginalized and poor communities are coming from. And even at schools, where children were exposed to waterborne diseases that had, marred, the health sector for majority of local authorities in Zimbabwe. So that was the background. Then in 2013, after successfully, campaigning for the inclusion of the human right to water in the Constitution, which is now under Section 77A of the Constitution, there was also particular, attention to have provisions like what we have currently at the moment under Section 46, subsection 1C of the 2013 Constitution of Zimbabwe, which basically states that when you are interpreting human rights, you have to take into consideration international treaties and conventions to which Zimbabwe is a signatory. And that was very important because Zimbabwe had signed the International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights, which under General Comment 15 states that every person is entitled to available, accessible, acceptable, and quality potable water. And Zimbabwe also had signed to the Convention on Elimination of Discrimination Against Women, which was very important because it had provisions relating to safety for women, particularly in terms of ensuring that there is access to water. That was very important and fundamental in our nation because we have a patriarchal system that confines issues of water service delivery, non-paying household chores of fetching water to women and young people. So that was a progressive issue. And then third was also the fact that Zimbabwe had signed the Convention on the Rights of Children, which talks of the rights to ensure that children access health services, and part of that was ensuring that there is access to water. So riding on that, success in terms of inclusion of the human right to water in the Constitution, we formalized registration of the institution as a trust in 2013, in September 2013. And I came in 2013 to transform the institution, in fact, the movement, which was Community Water Alliance, from being a movement to an institution with systems, strong governance systems that ensure that there is answerability in the administration of funds, because the process of also accepting individual contributions through membership fees was beginning to take shape. So there was a need to ensure that we have got a finance manual in place. There was a need to ensure that we've got a human resource policy that it defines how we recruit staff. There was a need to ensure clear separation of powers in the arms of the organization. The arms being the board of trustee, which will be responsible and is also currently even at the moment responsible for policy direction of the institution. And besides that, which provide oversight over the operations of the secretariat of the institution. And we had also envisaged the need to have a gender policy. Like I've said, we are an institution that is basically looking at, that is emanating from the fact that women were carrying the burden of water service delivery. So we needed policies that should guide the institution. So that's where I actually come in to ensure that we have got the requisite policies to transform the movement into a credible institution.
Thank you so much for that insight. I also want our viewers and those maybe your stakeholders and all those institutions which you deal with, including our viewers right now, to understand, whilst I was checking on your organization and its activities, I'm sure your civic society, this Community Water Alliance, you had to legalize it sometime in 2013, around September there. You had pushed for the recognition of issues to do with water in the 2013 constitution, because the longest constitution, the longest house constitution, didn't have or was not covering the aspect of the duties which you are doing right now, you yourself. So my question is, or that mention, if you have mentioned it, I want you to touch it very well so that the viewers will understand. Since 2013 now, September, you came in, you legalized everything, the paperwork, the documentation, up until now. Are there challenges which you are facing as a civic society organization? Are your objectives, your missions, are you meeting them? Do you have any challenges as we speak?
Yeah, I think challenges are there. We are also privy to the context of our nation, both the economic context and the political context. and giving space, the reluctance by our government to give space to civic society organizations to operate freely and undertake their work. We have had challenges of closing civic space. We had challenges of even arrests. Myself, I think I have been arrested several times on allegations that have no basis, and that has been the challenge when it comes to our operations. And even when you present a genuine issue to central government, to our national government, pertaining to what needs to be done to improve the lives of citizens on the aspects of access to water, you will normally get a tag where you are then labeled as some people who are trying to push a regime change agenda. Those has been our challenges that we've been facing. And resource constraints because of our economic context to undertake the work at national level. At times we became limited, and sometimes you can even get you are prohibited from having some meetings even prior to the context of COVID-19, because the Zimbabwe Republic Police would say no, you cannot have this activity in this particular area. Then they will give their reasons, which sometimes we view as being political in nature. So those has been part of the challenges that we are facing, and beyond that, the other challenges that the institution has been having outside the confines of those issues is, convincing or getting the government to listen to our demands that we need to have a meaningful fiscal commitment to water and sanitation. Why this was and it is still important is that we have in our country outbreak of waterborne diseases even before the COVID-19 pandemic. You talk of your cholera outbreaks, typhoid, which are emanating from a crisis of water service delivery, which are emanating from poor sanitation services. So our argument was to say we need to ensure that in the budget, national budget, the Minister of Finance allocate meaningful money or commitment, budgetary commitment to water and sanitation, so that at least we revamp the old and obsolete infrastructure that we have in our country. And now, I think I gave you an example in Harare of water being lost through leakages, reaching to as high a percentage as 45%. That is the same situation. Even if you go to other local authorities, Masvingo, you go to Mutare, you go to Bulawayo, non-revenue water is a main contributor issue to limited amount available to citizens on the ground. So having the government to respect that and ensuring that they also adhere to constitutional provisions on respecting the right, protecting the right, and fulfilling the right. We've had those challenges when we're engaging state actors.
I understand what you are talking about, and myself, I know my country. At the same time, what I want is to make this program helpful to your operations and everything which you are doing. We slightly don't want people then maybe to misconcept my intention of this show. We don't want maybe all your good work to be misquoted to maybe then you are aligned to this side or something like that. Myself as your host, I'm enjoying what you are saying right now, and all those viewers who might be following us, I just want to tell them that the main purpose and objective is for the good work which you're doing without maybe taking sides and everything. I'm not taking away everything which you're saying. Then it comes to some of the duties or your activities. besides the issue of providing water is one of the human basic needs, which is expected and which is now being part of the constitution. Can you also now maybe try to break down some of the activities? I just remember one when I was reading, there is civic education there. Are there other, activities which you are also doing as a civic society organization, Community Water Alliance? Are there other activities which you are doing to those people who doesn't know much into your organization? Maybe you can then break down, like maybe civic education. What will you be dealing about? Maybe in brief, you can tell us and help us there.
Okay, thanks very much. We offer about 5 services as an institution. The first is civic education that we offer to mainly rights holders, that is those who have the right to water bestowed upon them. In particular, on this one, we are concentrating mainly on citizens themselves. We are also touching on other institutions that deal with citizens, like residents associations and the broader civic society movement. And the second service that we offer is on monitoring and observation of water service delivery within local authorities. We rely mainly on what are called service level benchmarking, where local authorities are required to benchmark the number of days that they are supposed to avail water under difficult circumstances. The idea is that they have to provide water 24/7. But if, like the situation we have at the moment, what are the minimum days and under harsh conditions that they can then provide water? Then we look at benchmarks on quality of the water in line with the World Health Organization standards. So what we do is we have a strong footprint on the ground in terms of ward structures and even structures around public water points that are mainly chaired by women. They record using what we call a citizen card, community card, to look at how many days they have access to water on the ground, and where there are questions on the quality, we then take that water for testing in line with the provisions of the Public Health Act in Zimbabwe. So those are part of the monitoring and observation that we normally do, guided by the documents that I've talked about. But we are not only confined to the service level benchmarks set by local authorities. We also move beyond that to look at international standards, and then we try to benchmark water provision for local authorities based on international standards. Then the next service that we offer is on information dissemination, particular information relating to WASH, water, sanitation, and hygiene, for specifically riding on social media platforms, your WhatsApp platforms, because for each ward committee, we have a WhatsApp group where we disseminate information and share information, discuss, and they also post the challenges that they are facing on the ground. So we disseminate information. We don't only disseminate to citizens only, even to state actors and non-state actors like other civil society organizations and even the private sector, where we are looking at the wet industry. That is those that deal with the issues of water. You talk of Delta, Schweppes, all those institutions. And then the next service we offer is on research and advocacy. We undertake research, and that research informs our advocacy initiatives. It has to be based by scientific evidence, so that when we engage policymakers, we engage from an informed basis, and we engage from a basis where we are informed by research. So we do that. And then the next issue that we also do is capacity building, networking and capacity building. On this particular strand, we are dealing with building the capacity of rights holders so that they can demand accountability, so that they can demand answerability from policymakers. We also go a mile ahead to then provide this capacity to duty bearers so that at least there's equal power relations. We have those that are demanding doing so from an informed basis, but we also have those that are supposed to provide, knowing that they are guided by provisions of the law and all those sort of things. So we provide capacity so that also they can meet the demand that is coming from our rights holders. So those are basically the services that we offer as an institution.
Well articulated. I'm just imagining myself like I'm walking through, whilst you're speaking, I'm also walking through in your organization, just visualizing. I comment the work you are doing there. So someone might also want to then check, do you have offices? Where are your offices? Are you also in Bulawayo? Are you in Gwanda, Harare, something like that? We have got these provinces which we have in our country. Are you visible in those provinces? And your offices, if one needs help, we know there is a problem of water. Where can they find you?
Okay. We have offices in Harare. I will start with Harare. At corner 3rd and Selu, at Mass Media House, 3rd floor. We have an offices there. And in other provinces, what we've done, we have also embraced the issue of devolution. So it is not prudent from our part to then be everywhere, even in areas where there are other institutions that are doing particularly the same work. So we recognize and give prominence to the work that is being undertaken by other institutions that are working in those particular areas. Our role is simply to go there and work with them. Like in Bulawayo, we work with Bulawayo Progressive Residents Association, a very progressive institution, well-informed, with a strong footprint, and they've results and successes that they've registered in the past, and they continue to register as we go in the future. So what we do is we recognize the presence of those institutions, and when we are going to Bulawayo, instead of having parallel structures for community water alliance at ward level, the best is to have synergies and collaborations. So we work then with residents associations. In Masvingo, we work with Mutare United Residents and Ratepayers Association. In Wange, we work with the Wange Residents Trust. In Gweru, we work with Gweru Residents Forum. In Mutare, we work with the United Mutare Residents Trust. So in every local authority, in Buera, for example, because I have not talked about the rural area, we work with Buera Residents Association, Bura. So what we do is instead of being everywhere and establishing offices everywhere, we have embraced the concept of devolution and ensure that people who are residing in Bulawayo speak authoritatively about issues affecting citizens in Bulawayo, rather than having someone who's coming from Harare, for example, trying to drive advocacy work in Bulawayo, when there are people who are well informed on the particular context of the situation in Bulawayo, who reside in Bulawayo, we experience the crisis of water service delivery in Bulawayo. And when they do so in terms of doing their advocacy work, know that what they are doing ultimately will improve not only service delivery on water for citizens, but even for the individuals undertaking that work. So, that's how we have worked, and we will continue to embrace devolution in the manner in which we work, so that we at least we at least build synergies and collaboration.
In short, in brief, I checked part of your funding. There's this organization which is called GIZ. They might be helping you, and you are grateful. You might need maybe other players to chip in and help on top, additional to GIZ. Are you also? Welcome. I'm a funder today. I want to help you, or you are saying you are enough. You can help. You can help us there. To those people who are viewing right now, they might want to help you, or those who are going to watch later, they might want to help you. In brief, what's your?
We are open. We are open to those that come to help us. We still, like any other civil society organization, have challenges on adequate funding to undertake our work. So it is open to support from everyone to support the cause.
Any words which you might want to leave as parting and goodbye to the viewers who were following? We didn't have much comments, which means to say people are understanding, they are liking what you are doing, they are proud of you. Any goodbye words to this amazing and wonderful show which we were having with you?
Thanks very much. I think my last words are that we are committed as an institution to save citizens in Zimbabwe, and we will do this work no matter the circumstances and difficulties. We will prevail. We will continue to be a torchbearer of the human right to water in Zimbabwe. And during the COVID times, we are making efforts to ensure that public water points are safe, particularly mainly for women. I think those are my parting shots, and I want to also thank those that have been viewing. It's a commitment also to have someone buying bundles to listen to what you are saying, and I want to appreciate the time that we had to interact with them.
Thank you so much.
And sorry, last one, Stewie. So thanks, Stuart. Also, I know it's a sacrifice. On most occasions we don't mention the importance of the fourth estate, the media, in trying to drive advocacy work. Ensure that the message reaches every corner of the world. I'm appreciative of the time that you have taken, the sacrifice that you have made to ensure that we are alive and speaking to Zimbabweans. We are speaking to citizens in the global village. Thanks very much for that.
Thank you, Acting Director Hard Life Mudzingwa. This is part of the civic society organization, which is called Community Water Alliance. They are trying their best to help the whole country in regard to water. This journey started in 2010, like what he said, after there was a national water crisis in Zimbabwe. They had to formalize and make sure the paperwork is intact around 2013, September 2013. That's when Hard Life came in and assisted the civic society organization, Community Water Alliance. It has been a pleasure, to be with you. I think my wish and hope to those who were following and those who are going to watch later, because we are going to upload it on YouTube, those who are going to watch later, and if there is those who are willing to help you, those are the contacts which are on the screen there. They will contact you direct, and God willing, we are going also to maybe engage you after some 3 to 4 months. God willing, all of us surviving after this pandemic, will also make sure the viewers get an update. So have a good day. May the good Lord bless your work. Until we meet again, I sign out.